The future of gaming is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy S3.
From wearable computers to virtual reality headsets, brain-powered, tongue-powered, and everything sci-fi in between, the future of gaming is happening now. And IGN is here to take a closer look at the groundbreaking technologies that will influence the way you play video games in the near future.
The future of gaming.
After faithfully putting in almost 7 years with the PS3, Wii, and 360, the video game world is anxiously itching to upgrade to a younger, faster mistress. Lucky for us, the next generation of consoles is right around the corner, and today, IGN has all the intel to confirm or deny the latest rumors that could affect your gaming future. Then, later, IGN's Nick Vargas visits Obscura Digital and talks shop with innovator Barry Through about holograms and interactive displays. Could this technology come to our living rooms next? Stay tuned and find out on this episode of IGN's Future of Gaming.
The next generation.
In the race to release the next generation of game consoles, Nintendo is certainly leading the charge with the upcoming Wii U. The new edition of the gamepad is intriguing because, let's face it, we all love tablets. But could the mystery horsepower of the Wii U be its Achilles heel?
You know, Nintendo's philosophy is that specs and the overall approach to making sure that there are cutting-edge graphics in every single video game, they don't worry about that as much. They're focusing on finding new experiences, new ways to play games, because at the end of the day, you can have a great story, you can have a horrible story, but what you'll remember is your experience with that game and how you played it. So obviously there's a lot of unknowns about the Wii U, but I think that the one thing that is known to millions of fans worldwide is that Nintendo's key strength is and always will be their intellectual property. I mean, this company has more well-established brands and characters than basically every other developer combined. You're talking about Mario, you're talking about Zelda, but you're also talking about Metroid, Pokemon, Star Fox. You can bet they're working on a number of surprises along those lines. And that's all well and good, but there's actually one other thing that I think not many people are considering at this point, and that's actually Miiverse. Now, we don't really know how Nintendo plans to implement Miiverse, but the idea is that it's a social feature that's built into the Wii U that allows all games to take advantage of this sort of social community that can be built around Nintendo's game. You know, Nintendo has this insight, this uncanny ability to find new experiences for people. And so in that sense, you will always be able to count on them, despite the fact that the industry is radically different now from earlier. And, you know, who's to say if Wii U will be a success, but, you know, you can bet there's going to be some incredible experiences on the platform.
In just about every way, the PlayStation 4 looks to be the antithesis of the Wii U. Sony seems poised to focus on hardcore games, hardcore specs, and another hardcore 10-year life cycle. But with the PlayStation 3 finally hitting its stride in the current gen race, will this strategy pay off for Sony? And what can gamers expect from this all-powerful, next-gen behemoth that Sony releases?
So looking at the PlayStation 4, it's important to look at the PlayStation 3, right? PlayStation 3 had a terrible launch. It came out a year after the Xbox 360, and when Sony decided to come out a year later, they came out and said, all right, well, we're gonna be $600, and we're gonna be totally expensive, and we're gonna be this juggernaut. Sony came out and they thought that they were unstoppable because the PlayStation 2 was such a big deal. PlayStation 2 was everywhere, everyone owned it, and they said basically, you know, you'll get another job. You're gonna buy this system no matter what. We could launch without any games. And every gamer said, no, it's one of those things that the PlayStation 3's life cycle has been all about making up that terrible launch. If Sony looks at next generation and starts talking about the PlayStation 4, they have to figure out what they can do differently than the Wii U. And number one, first and foremost, is not trying to copy the Wii U. They tried it with Move. They came out with the Move and said, this is just like the Wiimote and Nunchuck, and nobody wanted it. The PlayStation is a gamer's machine, and for PlayStation 4, they need to go with that, and they need to stick with that. So if my dream world's correct, and the PlayStation 4 is coming up with the Xbox 720 or Nextbox, whatever, it's gonna be really, really interesting to see what happens that fall when that comes out. Because what it's gonna come down to is money and exclusives, right? How much money do I as a consumer have to buy, and what system am I most invested in? You figure right now, PlayStation 4 can't do what PlayStation 3 did. It can't come out late, and it can't come out with a bunch of games nobody cares about. If you come out with another Resistance, Fall of Man, all these exclusives that are cool exclusives, but not system sellers, and you have some kind of Halo, some kind of Gears of War going up on Xbox, PlayStation loses. But if they come out and they say, we are the hardcore gamer machine, We are going to be giving you the next generation of David Cage games. We are going to be giving you Naughty Dog's next thing. We are the cinematic machine that makes high-quality AAA games, and then we have this online infrastructure with the PlayStation Network that delivers you unique, independent stuff. That we are a gamer's machine.
While nothing has been officially announced about the Xbox 720, a tidal wave of rumors has made its way onto the blogosphere. After gathering all of the leaked documents and images about the Xbox 360's new successor, we have a pretty accurate idea of what Microsoft is planning for the next generation console, and that's the ultimate living room media hub.
Comparing the next generation Xbox to the other two next generation consoles is probably going to be a script that plays out fairly similarly to what we have now. Nintendo is off on their own strange cloud doing their own strange things, good things, fun things with the Wii U. Microsoft's trying to counter that with an initiative that they're getting the ball rolling on this Christmas called Xbox Smart Glass, which will run on your tablet, be it your Android or iPad. That can sort of interface with your existing Xbox 360 games, and I'm sure they're just kind of warming up with that this Christmas to get the developers all familiar with it, so that next Christmas, when the next generation Xbox almost certainly launches, they'll really be able to just blow it out in full force and have it be a big competitor to the Wii U specifically. So Microsoft's goal from day one, they've been public about this. This is not a hidden thing. They want to take over your living room. There have been statistics that say that the Xbox 360 gets more use for apps and media and entertainment things than it does for games in many households. The best stuff is stuff that I can't even think of because I'm just a gamer. It's the smart game developers that will think of new ways to put these fancy new pieces of technology to use. The tech will enable new experiences that I haven't even thought of yet, and that's where the real fun is with every new console cycle.
While the new breed of consoles are set to conquer and redefine our living rooms over the next year, other groundbreaking hardware looks just about ready to redefine the world everywhere else. From futuristic holograms to incredibly enormous touchscreen wall displays, Obscura Digital has been bending our minds with award-winning, innovative experiences for years. Could this company bring the same magic into the video game space? We went straight to their headquarters in San Francisco, California to find out. Obscura Digital is an amazing team of technologists, creatives, and strategists. Part lab and part creative agency, they develop immersive and imaginative technology in many forms, most notably in experiential advertising.
So interactive touchscreen displays, it sounds like a pretty easy jump to maybe game input touchscreens. Have you guys done anything like that?
Sure, absolutely. You know, any of these types of interactive experiences with multiple people, multiple users, take this type of social interaction, and kind of all of our experiences have some sort of, user interaction that borders on gaming. Certainly in the future, we see a lot more direct types of gaming application to these things in touchscreens on many scales. I mean, it turns out, not in the future, but in the present, almost every screen coming out now is a touch screen. And we'll go from that into more ambient types of user control interfaces in a variety of display modes, and in almost any situation you can imagine will be an opportunity to be able to plug in some sort of augmented reality or different type of input experience.
So how many years until you think we'll be playing an alien hunt game in the Sistine Chapel, brought to us by Obscura Digital?
I think it could happen tomorrow if we really wanted it to. This technology isn't far off to really do some incredibly exciting things in terms of, crowds and people interacting with gaming in kind of everyday situations. And so you can bring gaming to a variety of public spaces in a way that simply, hasn't really been possible now.
With its bleeding-edge technology, Obscura Digital definitely has the potential to revolutionize the video game world. But can it compete with forthcoming more portable gaming experiences? Tune into the next episode to see what the future of gaming holds on IGN.com.